Hi, this is Sporty King, the master of listening, and I'm excited to be one of the 2020 Visionaries. We're six heart centered thought leaders and influencers based in the greater Charlotte area, excited to deliver our pandemic perspectives to help you keep it together while we're in this together, experiencing it differently. Today, I'll be talking to fellow visionary Joni Dunn. Hey, Joni, we're back. Hey, that was just some great laughter and conversation we did to warm up here for round two in
Yes, we
our
did.
pandemic perspectives. So let me ask you this, because here's what we like to cover this round: is what types of adjustments are you seeing people taking now?
I think that I'm seeing quite a few adjustments from personal perspective, from a business perspective. I think everybody is looking at what's really important. And I think it's a great time for businesses to really assess where they are, how to create efficiencies. Some businesses, not everybody, of course, but some businesses have a little bit of a lull here forced on them, and their employees have the same type of a lull, even though they may still be working. It's probably slower, other than the medical profession, it's probably slower in many instances. So they get a chance to slow down and assess how they do things and or what they're doing and how they can create a better efficiency. So, I'm all about the echo.
I know
So
as soon as I heard you say efficiency, I said, okay, here comes
efficiency,
the echo.
here comes the echo, exactly. So, and the echo, just to remind people, is what you give out, you get back. So if you're talking about creating efficiencies, this is a time where you can assess to see if how you do things, if you can automate more, if there's a better process or procedure. And in my estimation and in my experience, the best person to tell you how to do something more efficiently is the person that is doing it. So I really believe in employee feedback, and I have a program where I ask the employees what they would change. So that looking at those efficiencies that you can create right now and focusing on the employee and their value is huge, because we're learning very quickly that maybe the people that we thought were the know all, end all, be all may not have been.
In fact, I even think about the self-talk that people need right now in terms of the efficiencies. You made it clear that there's an advantage for both the employer and the employee here, and I think there
Yes.
is, in that the employee, and that's why I was glad to point to myself and get it right when you said the best person, because if you're at home now thinking, oh my God, now they're going to see that they really didn't need me 5 days a week, I'm going to lose my job. What you should be doing is thinking, wow, let me see if I can figure out how they can use me for 3 days a week to their advantage and mine. That's efficient.
Exactly, that's efficient. And how can I create an experience where I am more valuable to the company? What can I do to step up a notch to create more
Hmm.
value for the company? This is the time where people can educate, stay with the E for a minute, educate themselves by taking online courses. A lot of the large, well-known universities are offering free classes online right now. You don't get credit for them, but that's not the goal. You could do
Okay.
that if you wanted to. It's a great time to get a certification or maybe take another class to step yourself up in
Uh-huh.
your role, whatever that might be, or where you want to go. Just like
Okay.
they used to say, you dress for the role you want.
Right.
If you start learning, you learn for the role you want.
Hmm. Well, let me not keep you trapped on E, but you made me just think of one more that goes with
Yes,
that, and that is entrepreneurship. We have to still see that we are entrepreneurs as well. And
yes,
so, so while you're working at home, you're experiencing a way to help your company grow. We say my company. Well, now it's my company just a tad bit more
yes. And
than it
it's
was
a
before.
great, yes, it is. And it's a great time for the employer and the employee to think of themselves as an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
This is my position. How can I make this a better contribution to the company because I'm part of the company? And
Mm.
many companies have a profit sharing or some type of a bonus program based on how well they do. And if the employee really thinks about it, anything that's wasteful can help them have more of a profit sharing, of more of a bonus if they can eliminate it. So if they can really think about that you're right, that business as their business, then it's a great benefit to both.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we stayed on the E quite a bit.
Yeah, and
So let's move to the C.
Yeah.
Exactly. To the C and talk
Let's
about
see about the C, right? Okay.
see about the C. Exactly. Let's talk about connection and creating those connections. And that is another element of entrepreneurship, is the connections that we can create and recreate. We have the ability now to look at how we recreate the connections in a different way. Everyone has someone at work or somewhere in their life that is irritating in some way or another. So it's a way to go back and reconnect in a different way so that you can change that experience with that person and potentially have a better experience with them. My son used to always say when something was bugging him about someone else, or if I would complain about somebody, he'd say, "Mom, you spot it, you got it."
Mm-hmm.
So you need to look at how what you're doing it may be to another person. It could be in a totally different area of your life. But if you have something that's really bugging you about someone else or a situation, look internally and see if maybe there's a way that you're doing that same thing in a different area of life.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And so that, which now brings you into the compassion.
yeah, exactly. The compassion for others is a focus right now. There are so many people. Yes, there are people that are working their tails off, and we need to have compassion for them as well. The healthcare workers that happen to have their scrubs on when they walk into the grocery store, I've heard them admonished, and that to me, it just makes me sad that
Mm-hmm.
wait, this person has to eat, and you don't know, they might work in some place that just asks them to wear scrubs. They might not be in the healthcare profession at all.
Right.
Don't, let's try not to judge others. And then there are
Yes.
people that are sitting at home that are not used to sitting at home,
Yes.
and we need to be compassionate about how they're handling that and check in with our
Mm-hmm.
employees and check in with our employers. Don't sit at home and just do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Check in from time to time, because your employer is struggling too.
Mm-hmm.
If they had to lay you off, that is a big deal for an employer. They do have compassion for the people that work for them.
Yeah, and that check-in is part of the adjustment that you want to
Yes.
remind people to make. So thank you for that. Yeah, because
Oh,
we think,
no
oh no,
worries.
while I'm working out, no, check in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need you too. They're struggling like you're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough time for everybody right now. Whether you're working or not working, it's still so different for everyone.
Yes.
And this is not our new normal. We'll get back to that, but we get to create a new normal that's better for everyone, in my estimation.
All right.
So, and then, when you get to the H, I am very much about, we've read studies that you either act out of fear or you act out of love.
Okay.
And I think it's really important to try your best and practice acting out of love.
Mm-hmm.
I have a shirt on that says I love you in a lot of different languages. And I use a hashtag live a life of love, because that's important to me that I put out that message.
Yeah.
And I think, like the echo, what you put out, it's going to echo back to you. So if we can think about acting and the compassion that we talked about and the connection, if we think about pushing that out, it's going to come back to us. So coming from your heart instead of your head can really help you to connect better and think about your employees or your employer and have more compassion for people. So,
And even that love, I always say most people tend to love themselves, but not everyone likes themselves.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. We talk about, there was a very good book, The Untethered Soul, and the one thing that I remember out of the whole book was he talked about if you had someone sitting beside you on the couch that was talking to you the way you speak to yourself, you'd throw them out. you'd say, get out of here. You can't talk to me that way. That's not okay. So think about that when you have some of that rolling in your mind, and very often something we did years ago can come back and say, oh my gosh, I feel bad about that. Well, wait, hold on. No, let's rewind that. Try to rephrase things in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about in the past, we've said things like, I don't get sick. Well, let's think about, I'm always healthy.
Mm.
I keep myself healthy. My body's in great shape. Whatever it is that feels good to you, let's not even bring the negative into it. Let's just say the positive statement.
Now, I like that because that's something I can use right away, because I tend to say the last word that comes out of your mouth should be positive. So like you say, if I say I don't get sick, the last word that came out of my mouth was sick.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
okay, I like
That's
that.
my point. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And then the O in the echo is I wanted to really focus in on organization, because that's a big adjustment that we need to make.
Mm-hmm.
Very often people are working from home that never have. Creating that space in your home where you can work undistracted
Mm-hmm.
and focused,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to walk away from it at night.
Mm-hmm.
Some people that I've spoken with set up their office in their bedroom. To me, that's a disaster, because it's there. It's always there.
Yeah.
And you don't get away from it. And I think that's a little bit of a dangerous, and to go back to the H for a second, worried about your health,
Mm-hmm.
not just your physical health, but your mental health is
Mm-hmm.
very important. And that we've all had to make big adjustments there.
Yeah.
So trying to get yourself organized will pay off in the long run. Even when you do go back to work, if you end up working in the office full time, still having a space at home where you can do your personal business. Having an organized space is great. And as we open back up, there may be a period of time where we're in and out of the office.
Right.
Like we're in a few days a week, or I know some of the businesses right now, they've got people coming in every other week. So you need that portable office to take back and forth with you. Mm-hmm. Not everything is on the computer. So you may have paperwork that you need to have organized and put together to go back and forth as well.
Okay, well, look, thanks for organizing it. You want to just wrap that up in one little new final ball for us, or?
Sure. I think that the focus for me is to live a life of love. And as you're looking at reopening and doing the adjustments, think about what's best for yourself and for others.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Joni. That is so cool. And then I bring it back to how we deliver, because right now your tone is so important in terms of that compassion that you talked about, that the communication and the empathy. Mm-hmm. And so it's a calm delivery that you give, and that's what we've set ourselves out to do with the 2020 Visionaries, is hope that we offer a calm solution, a calm option for making it through the pandemic situation. So
exactly.
Stay with us as we bring you our pandemic perspectives. It's such a mouthful.
I'm glad you're saying it.
Yeah, we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and please put some comments down there in the thread. Help share the message, and we would love to be able to help you out the best way we can. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sporty. Take care.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye.